Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing some collage, really simple one, onto a fairly simple background as well. So I'm starting off in my large dilutions journal and I've got this really runny fluid acrylic paint that I'm popping into my journal. I got a little bit heavy-handed with it, so there's a lot on this page. I usually am fairly restrained with how much paint I put out, but this one just tipped out onto the page, so it was quite interesting, and it ended up being way too much. So once I sort of dried it off a little bit, I then tried to control it somewhat, and you can see me sort of rubbing it away with my fingers and so on. Once I'd done this, I decided that I needed to put some stenciling in the background because it was a little bit much. So I'm just going in with a contrasting blue, this is turquoise over top, and doing a little bit of ghosting over the top with my stencil, just wiping away the excess paint, just to give a little bit of texture in the background. I find that just doing plain backgrounds, for me, I need stuff happening in the background. It makes me happy if there's stuff happening in the background. So you do you. But as you can see from my other pages, there's a lot happening. This is an image I put together for a class I was teaching. So it's quite a large collage image. I tend to go a little bit smaller than this, and you can see all the pattern work that I've put on it. One of the things though, when I'm doing any type of work, is to make sure that my images are grounded in some way. So what that means is that they make sense, even though they can be weird and wonderful and so on, that they kind of make sense in some way on the page. For this piece in particular to make sense, because she is sitting in a chair, she can't be floating in midair, so I needed to put some sort of ground in that she can be sitting on. So the chair is actually not floating in midair, but it's sitting on the background. The other way I ground my images is by making sure that some part of the image, whether it's a foot or a side of the body, is touching one of the edges. And I just find, again, that helps with that grounding process. As well, I'm going in with my Stabilo oil pencil just to add a little bit of a shadow in. And I find using a water-soluble pencil like this is just a really easy way to add a shadow, because you just need to do a very light line and a wet damp brush, and you can see sort of that shadows coming off without very much work on my behalf. The other way you can get away with that is by using a warm grey alcohol marker, because they're translucent, so it gives you that sort of see-through shadowy effect without you having to do too much. The final thing I'm adding to my page is to write in my quote, and this was after a hard week at work, I think, and I was running on empty this week, so I felt like this lady sitting in the chair, just absolutely exhausted, couldn't do anything. I'd kind of had to force myself to go into my studio this night because I needed that mental health break, because I knew I was not feeling the best, and I felt very much I would rather have been doing what she was doing instead of sitting in my studio, I think, just sitting there vegging in front of the TV. But I'm glad I got this page done. I did feel much better once I'd finished it. So once I've finished doing my lettering, then I'm going in with my black pen and doing a shadow on it just to help pop it out from the background a little bit. And you can see what a difference it makes, just doing that little extra line work on the letters. It just sharpens them up, puts them in focus, makes them really stand out from the background. Once I've finished that, I've also got that big word down the bottom, which was, I think, regenerate or recharge, that I'd found in a travel magazine, and that sort of kind of was what inspired this page too, and the quote, the fact that I had this word I want to put in. I love the change in fonts on it, and the colours kind of matched my background as well, so it kind of was just very serendipitous that it all came together. So once I finished that and just drying it off, make sure I didn't smudge anything, and then I decided that I just wanted to add a little bit of extra detail to the letters. So I'm going in with my white paint pen and doing a little bit of marquee work on the letters. Then with the big ones, I got my big white chunky pen. So I really enjoyed doing that to my the letters on this page. It just helped blend it in, I suppose, with the background a little bit, and to make it my own as well. So that's why I really enjoy playing around with magazine images, because you can just add all this extra dot work, line work to make them your own, change the colour schemes to fit in with what you've got in the background, add funky hairdos and all sorts, so it all sort of balances out in the end. So I hope you have a go at using some larger images and doing some simple collage in your journals. It's lots and lots of fun. It's a great way to sort of empty your mind and just go for it. There's no right or wrong rules. Until next time, bye for now.